In this video, my friends, we'll be taking a look at the BenQ EW3280. This is a 4K monitor, but it's a little bit more than that because this has got a lot of extras built in. So let's take a closer look. Don't forget to hit the red button to subscribe and give this video a thumbs up and click the notification bell to get my next video first. Just for disclosure, I'm not being paid for this review and I've only got this for a couple of weeks and then I send it back. I'm not being asked to say anything good or bad about it, so all of the views will be my own. Okay, so this is what you get in the box. As well as the actual monitor, you get the stand, a remote control, which is a nice feature which we'll concentrate a little bit more on later. In terms of connections, there's USB Type-C, 2 HDMI and DisplayPort. There's also a headphone port as well. Also on the back you have the joystick type controller and a couple of buttons to operate that menu system, as well as the on and off switch. This can be wall mounted via the 100x100 Visa mount, or you can easily attach the stand, which is the case of a couple of screws and then the base plate being attached. I really like the look of the stand. You do have a cover for wires, which I'll show you in just a second, but I think that this monitor looks great from either the front, side or back, but it is very limited with how much movement you're going to get. You literally get that. That's it. No up, no down. It's literally just tilting back by a few degrees. Now, one of the big features of this monitor is the sound. It has a 2.1 sound system, and we'll test that out in a few moments once we've got this thing set up. You can control that sound via the volume rocker on the bottom left corner, or you've got a remote control, which again we'll go into in a bit more detail. Okay, I do like a monitor with a bit of cable management, and this one works well, but you would only get 2 or 3 cables in there. It's a little bit of a tight squeeze if you had any more. I'm just using my USB-C at the moment and the power port. If you did have 2 extra HDMI ports, well, I'm not sure whether you would fit all of those in. Okay, so the monitor is now connected and we're going to hook it up to my MacBook Pro. We're doing that via a single USB-C Type-C cable because this monitor also gives 60 watt power delivery, which means that you can connect the data, the screen, and still charge your MacBook at the same time, which gives a really simple, clean look via one cable. So I think BenQ have really done a good job with the design. It's also got an almost browny bronze finish to it, which again I think looks pretty good quality. This being an IPS panel means you get good viewing angles and it's great for dealing with reflections. You don't get any reflections like you would do with a glossy screen. One of the headline features is intelligent HDR, but it is important that you don't get carried away with that. This has the very bare minimum amount of brightness to qualify for being HDR. At a maximum of 400 nits with HDR on, that is barely capable of delivering an HDR image, and it's important that you don't get misled by that. Effectively, to get a good HDR image, it needs to be around 600 to 1000 to get the best possible quality. So at 400, you really are scraping the barrel. It has a 5 millisecond response time, but this is just a 60 Hz panel, so you're not going to get those very fast refresh rates that you would do on a 120 Hz monitor. As I mentioned earlier, that this comes with a comprehensive remote control, which is a really nice feature which I believe is missing on most monitors, and I think most people would welcome having this option rather than fiddling about with that joystick at the back. Another great feature is the on-screen display. It's bright and clear and vivid. So many I see nowadays have terrible tiny writing which you can't make out. Combine that with that remote control and it really is a joy to navigate through those various menus. Talking of menu systems, the menu system on this monitor is first class. There are so many different options. As I speed through, you'll get an idea of what you can do. I'm not going to bore you by going slowly through every single one. There's even information on eye care and how you can have flicker-free technology, low blue light settings, and also even put it into e-paper mode. This may be advertised as a general entertainment monitor, but it does have some serious features built in. It has 95% color accuracy to the DCI-P3 color gamut, and for gamers it's got FreeSync already built in. Now obviously because it is just a 60 Hz panel, there's no point having HDMI 2.1 because you're not going to see those benefits of the faster refresh. But we found in our tests of gaming there was no noticeable delay. Now, this is where this comes into its own when it's gaming and watching TV and films, because the speakers on this, although they don't get quite as loud as what I'd like, they do offer a degree of depth. What do you think of this as you watch me game? So the speakers are arranged as two 2-watt speakers and one 5-watt woofer, and they do a really good job. Clearly they're not going to be as good as a separate sound system like a soundbar, or for instance I've got my Bose companion speakers, but it does a very acceptable job, and certainly is better than the majority of monitors out there. What I would say though is that this would be a brilliant monitor if you want to just, for instance, attach a Mac Mini to the back of it and have an all-in-one system with literally no wires at all. Okay, so I'm going to summarise now and give you my overall feelings. Design, I really like the look of this monitor. I think that those accents of bronzy brown look really good, and I like the actual base of the stand. The one limitation I would say is that it only tilts by a few degrees, and there's no option for raising it or lowering it, which in this day and age is a bit of a problem. The ports having USB-C capability delivering 60-watt power delivery is great, so you can't argue with that. And those Trevelo speakers, well, again, they're a nice feature and they do better than the majority of monitors out there. Now, a little pet hate of mine is all of these companies saying HDR because they only just scrape in to qualify. Really, with a peak brightness of around 400 nits, that's just the very minimum ability to deliver an HDR image, and it's barely noticeable. You really need to be up around 600 to 1000 to really deliver good HDR imagery. So this is something which I just think is unnecessary to claim, but it probably sells a few monitors. What I would say, however, is that some of the other features and the features combined still make this a monitor worth considering, because you do have that great sound system. I really love the fact that it came with the remote control. That is something which just hardly any monitors do. So combining all of these things, the features, the look, the design, the remote control, it does make it reasonable value for money. And if you're comparing against others out there, there aren't that many that do everything as well. The price of this monitor at the time of doing this review in November 2020 was just over £700 in the UK, around $750. So again, I think it represents fair value for money. I will leave the latest price links in the description for you to check it out for yourself. And please let me know what you think. Leave a comment in the box below. Thank you, my friends, for watching this video. I do hope that it's been useful for you, and I look forward to seeing you on the next review from All Things Tech.